tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Welcome back. So, recently, a lady on social media tweeted, "You and your husband have been married for 20 years, no child. It's only normal for you to allow him impregnate another girl outside. He has tried 20 years." So with the growing concerns of women who have stayed long in marriages and with no issue and neither any fault of theirs, should they go along with the Twitter users' advice of allowing their husbands try their luck, or even they too trying their own luck elsewhere? It's your view. Let it count. You can call us on 070-80668-014. You can also tweet to us at TPC Connect. Please hashtag your view TVC so we can read your tweets. Now, it's difficult for any one of us here to put ourselves in the shoes of somebody who doesn't have kids, because we do have kids. But when you're faced with that kind of situation, as alien as it sounds to us, for somebody, it becomes an option. For somebody who is seeking for a child, because you feel, well, it's an option. It's either you adopt or you go outside. It becomes an option. Now, in your own, with this Twitter's comments, what are your thoughts? Do you agree? Do you disagree? What are your general thoughts on this?
Well, I have considered it before. My waiting period.
Oh, you did?
Yes.
Oh.
I took fertility treatment, and it was my own problem. But imagine if it was my husband's problem, because I thought about it. The Nigerian thing normally is that men refuse to face the reality of having to go to a gynecologist and even finding out they have a problem. So their problems are undiscovered. It is the woman that drinks the agbo. Someone once gave me water, a family member gave me a kind of strange water and said, rub all over your body so that you have kids. And I was like, excuse me? Because I'm supposed to be the one with the problem. She'll say, okay, are you hot? Do you usually have hot, flush? Do you? I said, yes, sometimes. She'll touch my hand. You're very warm. Is that thing? So we'll give you water. So it's usually the woman's problem. So I sat one day and thought that, what if I had to come to closure on that one, that if it happens, if I would say, okay, go and do your test. But what if is also, if it was his problem, will I be allowed within a marriage to go and try out? So that's the problem. If it's his problem, we'll face it together.
You as a wife considered that your husband might try to go out.
A family friend had mentioned it before, that she had to allow her husband, and that the 9 kids her husband had in their marriage were not hers.
Wow. That
they were from the other wife. So when mine started, I was like, am I going Mom Stella's way? Is it possible that it will happen? Right. And I opened my heart to it, that if it happens, it's welcome.
All right.
Do you understand? So sometimes it might have to be the solution. You have to be magnanimous enough to accept the children.
Now, for somebody who's had been childless for 20 years, that's a long time.
I don't think it is a solution.
Okay.
I think that there are many options, and it's happened in the Bible, where Abraham gave, Sarah gave a maid to Abraham, that I can't have a child, live with my maid, so because there's a precedence yes. to it, we can fall on that as a solution. But you could also adopt. There are many children out there that they don't have anyone to lay claim on them. So there is room for legitimate adoption, both of you together. For me, and based on my religion, marriage is between 2 people and you become one. So everything we're doing, when we bring in a third party, that because I want to have a child, let's source for somebody outside to help you out to have a child. Is the child now going to be a nuclear family child, or then we'll now bring a third party into the party, or you marry the woman? There are a lot of complications involved that would complicate your life as a whole.
Well, wouldn't you rather that than just being childless? Because sometimes there's this thing of, as the man, I want the blood of the bone of my bone, my blood, that kind of thing. So the cultural problem, like, I am a man, I want my blood, I want my
We've seen
flesh.
people that their own children have given them hypertension and frustrated their life.
Right.
And we've seen, I grew up with someone that was adopted, and as an adult, by the time I was a teenager, I felt bad that people still refer to her that she was adopted.
Right.
It shouldn't be.
Right.
I really felt bad.
Society.
But the thing is, she is right now a full-grown adult with children, and she's taking good care of those people that adopted her. People now don't know that she was adopted, but because I grew up, I knew that they were always pointing finger at her. She didn't have children, they adopted her, but she's not taking good care of them. It is about how you nurture your child. Do you understand? It's about how you nurture the child.
Put the child in pressure. I mean, she survived, but some families don't
how
survive.
do you nurture the child?
All right.
I wonder who had to go first.
Parenting for me is very key, and this is where it plays, a very huge role. The truth is that regardless of who is biologically linked to a child, do you understand? Anybody can become anybody's child parent. So it depends on how you nurture that child. So having said that, when you're faced with
Consider culture who are.
I understand, but you see, that's what we are trying to break, and that is the essence of this show, is to help people understand that there are better options.
Right.
Do you understand? Because we cannot keep on doing things the same way and expect to have different results. It's not possible. We've had cases of people that your own biological child, was it not a man's son that used the knife and killed the father and stabbed the mother? Biological blood child. So it's not a function of whether the child is biologically linked to you
really
or not.
It
is how you have. I mean, it is how you. A child is born clean. It is what you put into that child that would eventually become who that child now people will see. If a man, for instance, is what's the word now? Is infertile. He has infertility issues. Would you say now, as a man, okay, my wife, oh yeah, I'm the one that have the problem. Would you tell me that, okay, go outside and go and get pregnant?
Some men do it.
Some men do it, but you see.
Oh no, not some men do it. Some women know.
No, some men allow it.
Okay, maybe some women.
Just to cover, because some people are titled men. Right. It cannot be heard that a chief is infertile. Now, I wanted to
let me just tell you a story I heard related to that. I know of a woman too, who her husband had the issue, but her husband did not want her to know that he had the issue. But she knew her husband had the issue because she had aborted a child back in the university. So she knew there was no issue with her own fertility. So they were covering it up for many years. But eventually, she went out to have a child. And her husband knew, but they both were acting as if
they didn't know.
That's where we go. That's the last Mugu arrangement. Now, on culture, let me explain certain things. As Africans, it is important, sanctity of the home, of the family line, the bloodline is extremely important. That's why we frown at adoption. When you see in Africa, what you usually would look at, you want to make sure that is the woman that has the problem, and then the man looks for an alternative. Even if he must take a child outside, it will be a family member's child who is linked directly. It used to be the norm in England. Right. See, the England of once upon a time, it has to be by bloodline that you inherit. That's how it was.
But we've gone past that.
No, they have.
Okay.
We've not gotten there. Okay. Certain beliefs are surrounding. In Islam, for instance, now, you cannot adopt a person's child that you know is not biologically yours and give that child your name, because the child is entitled to his father's name. You want to stop the father's bloodline. So adoption in Islam is you take care of a child, but you give that child to the owner. So it doesn't matter whether you have your biological one or not. You don't just take the name of yours and plaster on someone else's child. So those are the norms. People are working around it. Based on my religion, we've found a way around it. You can adopt, train the child for the purpose of, training the child, not for the purpose of having your name.
Okay, let me take this call from Blessing. Blessing, are you there? Blessing? From my papa? Hello? Blessing? Go ahead, please.
Okay. What you said, my point that I'm trying to drive at is, if we must change things, let us start today. Because you cannot tell me as a man, that if you are the one that have issues, you will tell me to go outside. So that woman making that kind of suggestion, I think, first of all, we need to analyze her psychologically. If there's infertility issues, there are many options. We've heard of cases where a woman is unable to house the pregnancy. You can there are surrogacy. There are so many options you need to see. This going outside is the easiest way.
It's easy for us to say. But the poor man out there doesn't understand. So we need to break this issue of bloodline, because
that is what we are saying now.
Religion one side. But the issue of it has to be my blood. That blood thing is where we're saying that must it be your blood?
People have issues with blood is because they feel that my genealogy, I'm raised well. My own child will carry some bloodlines have insanity. Some bloodlines have some funny genetic illnesses. So, but you know yourself, you understand what comes with you. You can trace it. That is one of the main reasons we say, okay, let's
Is that
keep.
now the new knowledge that Uwa is telling us, that it's about how you train the child?
how you raise
Even
the
if there
child.
are medical issues, there are new technologies to
The
help the
issue
child.
is, Morayo, a lot of people are already considering the option of adoption. But most of them are doing it hypocritically. So they say they travel out. A lot of people, they travel out for 9 months. As they got pregnant, they traveled out. It's a lie. It was adoption. And they come back and they come with a child. What I hate is, why do you need to hide to do it?
Because of society.
Because of society. We need to stop and break this.
Jalingo. Good morning. Are you there?
Yeah, good morning, everyone.
Morning.
Good morning.
I'm a seventh-time caller.
Seventh-time caller. Welcome to the show.
Clap for yourself.
Clap for yourself.
I want to contribute by saying that, you know, marriage is all about getting children.
Thank you.
First of all, it's the law that's the major thing.
We say that all the time.
Then, because in Africa, everybody will be thinking after 1 year, they will say, nothing is happening, I want to carry my grandchild. Bill Clinton in America adopted a daughter called Chelsea. And they are living well, they are living fine. Now, the major thing to get the problem solved is for the husband and wife to sit down and iron it out. I think it will be better.
Thank you.
And always, it's not only about the woman. A man can also be having a problem.
Right.
So some don't want to affect.
So
Thank you very much. Thank you
Talking
very much.
about culture, I am married now, right? I have 2 children. I have 2 boys. This one, we sit down near me this morning, attacked me and she was accusing me, Tokwe, when are you having a girl? You need a girl. You see, there's also this pressure from outside, because I cannot imagine after 20 years of staying without a child, you now tell me after 20 years that it is now time for the man to, if you even wanted to do it, it would not even be now. It would have been maybe the early years of marriage. There's also pressure from outside. A lot of people putting pressure. You see somebody just got married, you start looking at the person's tummy, you're waiting for the time the tummy will be big and all that. It is wrong.
This is a Thursday topic, obviously, because we need more time. But the question, nobody has answered my question. I think only Nima tried. Would you, if you're in that situation?
I said
I will not allow it.
I said
don't allow
I
your
won't. I
husband.
don't
So
agree.
you rather
I
just
don't
stay-
see it as an option.
Okay.
Morayo, how do we, when you analyze marriage, you at the point you get married, few years down the line, you have children. Give or take the next 20 years, your children will leave you. Who are you left with?
Your
you
husband.
and your husband. So I think we focus on the fact that having children is all there is to marriage. It is not. Marriage is companionship between a man and his wife. They would live all the years together. Nima is going to visit her parents. They are together, husband and wife. So
Right.
I think we should focus on the fact that this is the issue of marriage. Through it, we would raise godly children. That will
If they
continue.
come, fine. If they don't, fine.
Why? I hope we can end on that. So let's take a break. When we come back, we continue the infertility issue, but this time in men. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Thanks for staying with us. So infertility in both male and female have been a concern through the ages. In the issue of infertility, when women are always blamed, but according to research, men should also be held accountable. Another report has it that infertility affects an estimated 15% of couples globally, amounting to about 48.5 million couples. Male are also found to be solely responsible for 20 to 30% of infertility cases and contribute to 50% of cases overall. Now, joining us on the show is a medical doctor, Professor Oladapo Ashiru. Welcome to the show, sir.
Welcome to the show.
You can, yes, you can call us on 070-8066-801. You can also tweet to us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag YourViewTVC so we can read your tweets. Now, the issue of infertility in men, as we said earlier, our culture doesn't allow men to express the true situation of their fertility issues. Now, as a doctor, give us an idea what infertility in men, what does it mean? How many sperms are produced? What exactly does it mean, infertility in men?
Infertility in a man is inability to have a child through conception.
Right.
And as a matter of fact, we now know that this is, in terms of equality, 50% on each side,
Wow.
both male and female. And WHO is now very conscious of this fact, and I'm happy that you are focusing on it this morning, because it is now recognized that the men should be in the front burner of addressing infertility, because it's been made the responsibility of the women for so long. And there are so many reasons where this could occur. But infertility could be, in fact, inability to have intercourse, which is from erectile dysfunction. And then it could be due to absent or no sperm at all. When the sperm is absent or it's not there, or when the sperm is now low, very small amount. And the good news is that most of the cases of infertility can now be treated.
Now, we read that for a man to conceive, it's about the quality and the quantity of the sperm that is produced. What causes that low sperm count and even lack of quality of the sperm able to swim to the egg? What causes these things?
That is a very good question. And if I listened to your discussion earlier on, and it is we are paying for the technological development. There are so many causes. For example, and it's always been there. The causes of infertility can be characterized in two simple ways. Things that are caused because of what we eat, things that are caused because of what we do, or things in the environment. What we do, sexually transmitted infection is one reason, because you have unprotected intercourse, and you can have this and transmit infection, such as gonorrhea and chlamydia. And this will block the sperm passage irreversibly. And then it does the same thing in the female. Then the next thing is what you also do in terms of occupation. And that is a lot. There are several occupational hazards in the environment. For example, as recent as now putting the laptop
on the thigh.
It's generating heat. And the fact is there is no sin greater than ignorance. And many of the things that is happening that we are witnessing infertility are preventable with earlier knowledge. So the next thing is in the oil producing areas, we now see a lot of patients with oil faucets affecting the sperm production process. And then the next level is in terms of stress alone. Okay? And I will list many of them.
So
for example,
like for sexually transmitted disease, putting the laptop on
your
oil.
The use of cell phone.
Yeah, because I heard cell phones in the pocket as well.
Absolutely.
You know, affect the quality of the sperm.
Quality.
But you know, the thing is, because we were talking earlier, and I was saying that, you know, instead of going out to go and have intercourse with somebody else because you're trying to have a child, why don't we look for other medical options? You know, I mean, how expensive, first of all, is it?
And what are the options?
Yes, to try medical aid for getting pregnant. And are there like healthy lifestyles that you can begin to adopt to improve the quality if they say, okay, there's infidelity in the matter, maybe the kind of, I mean, infertility,
yes.
you know, to improve the quality and all that. Are there healthy food and things you can do as a man?
Correct. Healthy lifestyle is very important. For example, people think that they are living healthy in the early times, in the civilized period, and now they put things like sweeteners. They say they're drinking Diet Coke. It's now been shown that the substance, used to make these things are toxic to the sperm.
Whoa.
Alcohol drinking, smoking, these are healthy things that you can do to make sure that your sperm is normal. And one very important one, which is a very, very noteworthy one is that if you are pregnant and you have a young boy and you go and visit somebody who has mumps infection, and if your boy gets mumps, he is going to have permanent testicular damage.
Wait, say that again, please.
Please,
Mumps.
what are mumps? Explain what mumps is.
Mumps is a communicable disease when the
Swells
cheeks
up.
are swelling up. Yes, it should be treated quickly, because if it's not treated, it can go to the testes
Of the young boy.
and cause mumps orchitis. And mumps orchitis is a permanent damage to the testes.
Whoa.
If you have a boy that is born, as soon as that baby is born, check the 2 testicles to make sure they are there. Sometimes it's not descended from the abdomen. So if it is not descended, within a year or 2, you need to operate that baby and bring down the testicles to the scrotum. If you don't, that baby is going to have infertility.
So
Mm-hmm.
in your conversation, I picked two things. Now, recently and the first time, you mentioned sweetness.
Yes.
And you know, they usually blame male infertility on sweetness, or male sexual dysfunction on sweetness. That, you know, they take too much sugar, and the traditional way is to have alternative herbal medicine. I've seen a lot of times where people are made to take very terrible, you know, bitter tasting medicine to treat whatever they think the sweetness might have caused. Do you agree? Is it an option? Then number 2, you mentioned that, you know, bringing down when you have a male child, you need to check the testicles. Routinely, do the doctors do that at the point of birth? Or would parents really know? So whose responsibility is it to help check
A newborn baby.
baby?
If you have a newborn baby, you should go to the doctor regularly in the first 6 months of pregnancy, of her growing up, of his growing up, to make sure that he gets all the vaccines that he needs, and then he gets routine pediatric examination. And those are the things that the doctors will check at the visitation to make sure that it's fully descended. And then the other part you talked about regarding
Herbal mixture.
Drinking
herbal medicine. You see, there is a lot of value in bitter things, bitter kola nut, and those type of Swedish bitters, because the gallbladder is a very, very powerful healing organ of the body that people don't know. And if it's working properly, you'll be fine. But moving, yes, go on.
Did you finish now?
Let you finish, please.
But moving to that, these are the preventable areas of male infertility. Another critical one is that when you work in some industries, like the paint industries, like the plastic industries, cement, the employers should give them protective coverings. Because the paint industry will, anybody who works there who has not had a child, a man, needs to be very careful and protect himself. And if you paint your house, if you use insecticides in the house, if you fumigate, you need to make sure that it settles down for some time before you go in, because those are things that are spermatogenically toxic.
All right, thank you very much.
So we live in a society that does not encourage men to be vulnerable. So even when a man knows that he has confirmed that there are he has medical infertility issues, he is not able to open up and get care that might be able to solve it. And one of the first few things you said was that most infertility issues relating to men can be treated, thankfully, right now. So maybe when we come back, I would like you to break down how a woman who sees that she's gone through everything can approach a man for treatment, and also help us encourage men that if they have what they can do easily, how to get the right doctors that would get them treated.
Right. Maybe we should start from the approach to that, you know, in your experience, in your working experience, what's the approach of men to facing this? And then a solution.
The important thing is that most men are afraid
to find out
when they know they have infertility, because they don't know it can be treated.
Oh.
Yes. Now with the advent of technology and with men realizing that infertility in men are treatable,
Right.
Some men are now coming
out.
forward. Yes.
Fantastic.
And I listened to you earlier on when you said that a woman should go to, each one should give each other the opportunity to
go and try outside.
To go and try outside. The technology has been able to come to the aid of the population.
Thank you.
And WHO and United Nations now recognize the fact that having a baby is a human rights issue.
Right.
So the infrastructure should be available to enable them to access such technology.
Okay, let me take a quick break. When we come back, we'll take your calls and tweets. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your view will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Thanks for staying with us. So, I remember there was a question.
Yes, we also talk about how to prevent. I asked about how accessible the treatments are and how to prevent them.
Right.
Good. Now, infertility treatment is very accessible today in this country.
Okay.
We now know that some of the infertility problems can be treated with low technology. That is, just going to a doctor and giving you some medications and giving you some basic lifestyle modification like losing weight and things like that, and then telling you the right time for ovulation and the rest. But the complex technology, they are now available in Nigeria. We pioneered this technique in 1989 in Nigeria with the first test tube baby. Since then, there are now almost 70 IVF centers in this country. Okay. Now, these technologies are available, and they are, when you compare to the rest of the world, they are very reasonably priced.
Right.
All over the world, the global standard for IVF cost is about $5,000, which translates to maybe 2 million naira in Nigeria, or slightly less. But most people are charging less than that, maybe about 1 million to 1.2.
Let me take this call very quickly from Dari. Dari, are you there?
Yes, please.
Thanks for calling. Go ahead, please.
Yes, like I said earlier, I'm a first-time caller.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. I just want to make, from my own personal experience, I would like all men to know that, there is no shame in opening up to your wife that you are a bit infertile. Personally, I had a problem.
Okay.
And when I got to know, at the time I was proposing to my wife, and I went for a checkup, and I thought I was a bit infertile. I had those sperm counts, precisely. I had to sit her down. I had to take the courage. Because to me, it never made sense punishing my wife or my wife-to-be when I know I had a problem.
Right.
So
fantastic. Thank you very much so much for sharing. Thank you very much, Dari, for sharing.
In the alternative to IVF, what are the other forms of treatments available? And like who have emphasized, is there a detoxification method that you can do that?
In addition to that, because my husband was advising somebody, a friend, who hadn't had a child after about a few years in marriage, was that calling like, listen, eat beans, plenty beans, just eat it and be exercising. When you do that, you have, and I'm like, are you a doctor? But he was insisting that he should be eating beans Monday, Tuesday, every day. So do you agree with that?
Let me tell you something. It is now clear and well known from some of the reports we published in India last year,
right,
that having a child for the husband and the woman is like expecting an important guest in your house. If you expect an important visitor to come and stay with you, what is the first thing you would do?
You prepare,
you clean up the house, you get everywhere ready. So women must clean themselves, detoxify, so must the man. And when they do that, they will be healthy, and the baby that is coming will find it a good environment to stay. And what are we cleaning? We are cleaning bad food. Let me quickly hurry up on that.
Right.
Bad food, misconceptions about too much fruit. We think that fruit is healthy, but the World Health Organization says that it's only 250 grams of food that fruits that you need in a day, which is like a quarter of a big apple or just one small apple. But most people think that fruits are healthy, so they begin to make smoothies and drink it. You see, in this cup like this of orange juice, you have about 9 to 10 cubes of sugar. How many of us want to take 10 cubes of sugar in one go? But we drink about 2 of these cups, and what does it do? It goes to some of these organs, it spoils those organs completely. That is how you end up having polycystic ovary. That's when you have diabetes affecting conception. So, and then there are some things that we have, heavy metals, that can affect our fertility, both sperm count, both erectile function, and both ovulatory, like fish, stockfish, all those things. The American Society, the WHO, United Nations, we now know that when you want to, when you want to have a baby, you should not stay away from those large fish because of the heavy metals like mercury.
So don't eat stockfish.
Stockfish in particular is loaded with mercury.
Hey,
so, and
even the dried one.
Yes, and if you have to use those things, if you have to eat them at all, I would think that if you want to have a baby, just about 2 months of that, stay away from it. Okay. But if you want to have it at all, you must soak that stockfish overnight in water, hot water, to allow all those heavy metals to get out of it. The same thing with rice that has arsenic. Rice has arsenic, and arsenic is toxic to the embryo. So most people who have an infertility
can eat beans.
Well, you should eat well. What does eating well mean? Eat balanced food, vegetables in small amount, protein, meat in small amount, and carbohydrate in small amount. Balance. But also, you should know the food that is good for you. The food of a fisherman is poison to a blacksmith. So just because somebody says beans, it's okay. Maybe those ones, they have they cannot metabolize carbohydrate properly. So it's good for them. But some may need a balanced level, may need some bit of carbohydrate. So seeing a good doctor, and that is why we now recommend a complete detoxification. In our center, in our IVF center, people come in for IVF, they don't get pregnant. We ask them to go to a detox center, which is a medical one, because there are different types of gestation. It should be a medical one. They go there.
They come back and they get pregnant.
They come back, they take the remaining embryo, and they are pregnant.
Because they've detoxified all the toxins.
They've cleansed the system, they've cleansed the house. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Wow, I feel like I can go on. Tweets, please. Take a few tweets for a run-up.
This internet. Okay.
So which rice would you, so brown rice is good though?
Brown rice is good. White rice is good.
People have
it's
a lot
good
of
for
questions.
some people.
Abubakar Usman said, what lifestyle could be adopted by men to put things in control?
Okay,
I think you've answered that already. Adebayo Nightingale title says, we have to be careful with what we consume on our lifestyle to avoid infertility.
So Brown Sugar is asking, is weak erection same as infertility? I think he has answered that by saying yes. Then is there a treatment for a girl with small uterus and can't conceive?
Yes.
Okay, we have to round up, unfortunately. Let's you can take a few seconds.
Said, can you talk about what, azoospermia? Is there anything like that?
Yes,
How can we treat
that's
it? What's
no
azoospermia?
sperm.
No sperm. Okay, we have to run off. But I think we've learned that the general things we've learned: don't put laptops on your thighs.
Yes.
Don't put your phones. Those things can reduce radiation. What else did he?
Yes. Fumes from
when
you
you
work in a paint factory.
I think it's general toxin.
And also remember the analogy, the illustration I gave. It's like you're bringing a guest, a special guest. The baby, especially the baby, like a special guest. So you have to clean the house, get prepared ready for the guest. So remember, husband has to be cleaned, wife has to be cleaned in preparation for this new guest.
And that guest will stay stay there for a long time.
Long time.
Because if it's not clean, if you go and visit somebody and the environment is not
You run
good,
away.
you say, oh, I have something to do.
All right, that's all we can take on the show. I hope you learned as much as we did. Goodness. In fact, we need the part 2 of this matter because people need this information. Have a lovely day. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.